Hi guys, we got a game going between Combro and Direstrait. And it looks like just as I want to check up on his profile info, my game client kind of locks up. I can't really tell what rank Combro is. It looks like he plays Terran as his main. And Direstrait, of course, is our, I want to say, the pride of EXE, basically. You know, there's no other appropriate title for him. He's played against so many pros on the ladder. But, you know, here he is again. Just going to go ahead and give him his proper introduction. You know, words cannot describe the brilliance that this guy is in EXE. He's played against Destiny. He's played against In Control. He's played against Cats. He's played against Pain User. He's played against Gosu User. It's just, you know, it's absurd how many guys he's played against, how many guys he's beaten. He's played against Root Druby. It's none other than Direstrait's very symbol of pride. Or it's none other than EXE's very symbol of pride. It's Direstrait. Of course, here in the lower left-hand corner, someone who I think, you know, he's kind of new blood to EXE. He's been a member for a few months as far as I know. And it's none other than Combro. And of course, in the chat, they are saying that this is a Zerg-favored map. That's not a lie. I was actually just watching Empire Koss get beaten by, what's his name? Slivko? Slivko, yes, the Russian Zerg guy on this map. What he did was, he even had a full wall off going down here. He had, but the thing is, sorry about that. Yeah, it looks like, okay, I can move around as I please because I'm an OBS. What about this? Yeah, I can still do this. Awesome. And Dire calls for a PP, E. You know, that little French E there leads me to think that maybe he's got to use the restroom or something like that. But of course, you know, Hephaestus is just throwing this out there. He says that the third is impossible to hold. He says third. But of course, he's Dutch. So they don't have the T. Well, I don't know. There's an order to everything. But we just got to wait and see how this game goes. I wonder if Combro maybe unpaused that on purpose, but I think this is a little peculiar. First drone moving out is actually meant to scout, not throw down a natural hatch versus Terran. But, of course, the natural hatch is going down now. Nothing wrong with that. And it looks like the kind of opener we're going to see from Combro is going to be a direct double command center. No different from the double hatch here, except, of course, you can move the SCV when it's being attacked. And it looks like Combro's reflexes are just a teensy bit lazy. He actually pulled a couple too many SCVs there, but of course one of them is going to play point defense while the other one basically continues building. And Dire's just going in here to see if there's any gas. He doesn't see, oh no, he doesn't see this gas though. That's kind of important, but that gas was never taken. I mean, once you think about the way he does it, it just, yeah. But now he's playing against Terran. He's playing against Terran like he's playing against Protoss. You know, I think that's a very safe move. It's a very ambitious move, and I can see perfectly well why he did that. I think he thinks that it's basically going to be a 1-1-1 play that he's going up against, and now he... Oh, come on, Dire! You got to see this. There we go. There we go. He sees the gas. Of course, that's a low HP drone scout. Oh, and it doesn't get out. It's not going to get out. So I think the best thing you can do in this kind of situation is to simply block the gas right here. It looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. This is actually going to eliminate a good deal of 1-1-1 plays, at least options-wise. And, you know, just the way that the game is unfolding right now, this is working so well for Direstrait. He's actually going to have, for the most part, an uncontested third because we're not going to see Combro get the Hellions out in time. Let me see. Of course, there's the factory going down right now, but not the reactor. That's kind of important at this stage. And of course, I think Dire maybe can see this. No, he can't see the factory, but of course he can see that there's no tech lab being built, and he should know just exactly what kind of situation he got himself into by blocking that gas. Genius move by Dire, I want to say. And it only costed him an additional 25 minerals to the one drone that he spent. But of course he knows that his opponent's going to have lots of minerals. I think Combro, the way he should have followed this up is simply by throwing down a couple of more racks, and then maybe trying to go into a pure bio build. I really think that this 1-1-1 play that he's doing is going to be detrimental. It's going to be to his detriment, basically, because you know, just basically he's not going to have, what's the word I'm looking for? He's not going to have the time. You know, I mean, Direstrait, he's just going to have everything that he needs to really hold versus any kind of 1-1-1 play. And I do apologize for the chat spam right now. There we go. 3 more queens are in production. That's because basically Direstrait's like, okay, well, this is obviously going to be a kind of 1-1-1 play. He didn't see any additional barracks being thrown down, but of course he didn't see anything else being thrown down either. Reactor going down, interestingly enough. Or it's not a reactor, but a tech lab. There's no starport to follow it up. So I'm thinking this could possibly be some kind of marauder play. But of course the first two Hellions, after such a long time, are now finally out on the map to kind of control some creep spread. But this is kind of critical. He sees the drones that are leaving the base of Direstrait, and he's like, oh, okay, so you got a third. Alright. Well, I'm not going to bother with any of that fancy Banshee play, is basically what he's saying right now. Roach Warren on the way for Direstrait. The question is just, what is he going to try and do with this? He's only just now getting gas at the main. Natural, of course, got gas about less than 60 seconds ago, maybe just a teensy bit more than that. Third gas down in the main. Hold on. Just gonna have to block them for now. I'll unblock them at the end of the game. Let's see. Sorry about that, guys. Alright. So now here we go. This is yep. 6 racks follow-up. Interesting. I'm wondering if we're gonna see a lot of marauders coming out of this. I don't think Combro knows about that Roach Warren just yet. He does not. But of course, this is a lot of Hellions, and this is actually a very confusing play to Direstrait. You know, this says, oh, okay, well, to anyone who doesn't actually scout the main of Terran at this point, this is basically saying, oh, okay, so you're going to try and go mech build. You know, it's looking more and more mechy with the more and more Hellions that we see getting cranked out, especially in these numbers. You know, that's 9 of them right there. Looks like we're going to have 1 Hellion maybe fall. No, if not, a queen could end up falling in the process. Of course, not Dire, but Combro getting the scan down, and I want to say this is one of those games that I would expect to see made in China. It's one of those special tags that I slapped onto some of the Neo TV Star League games that I was casting. You know, we had a very unique player by the name of Loner. Here we go, 3 tech labs and 3 reactors. That's really going to help the production come out for Combro, but of course I think the biggest thing that's working to his detriment right now is the fact that he's supply blocked. You know, he let himself get into that situation, and it's just not going to be pretty for him, you know. We can see that right now. It's actually, that's one of those kind of critical-ish mistakes. Come on, guys. You guys have mules, you guys have supply drops, and you can't keep yourselves from getting supply blocked. What is that all about? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't mean to BM any Terrans out there. Dire finally taking his gases. Of course, if we look at the supply difference right now, supply discrepancy, it's roughly, I want to say, yeah, that's somewhere in the upper 40s, lower 50s. Now it's kind of just dropping and kind of panning out because we see Combro unsupply blocking himself, but of course, you know, just, again, he supply blocks himself. Just a teensy bit, not too much of a time gap, but every little bit of it does count. Are we going to see a starport? We do. It's finally there. It's beautiful when you finally have medevacs in production. Okay, now we only have a handful of marauders here. They do not have concussive shells. So the question is just, what is this guy waiting for? What is Combro waiting for to start cranking out the concussive shells? He just, you know. Oh my god, do we have to say it in Chinese? 真很淡. I'm kidding. Dire really asserting control of the map. He's got nothing but a pure roach composition. This is not a bad thing at all, but at least at this present stage, considering the fact that there's only a handful of Marauders. But of course, the roaches have finally caught on to the third here, and a lot of SCVs are going to fall in the process. Let's see just how many that is. That's 15 so far. I don't think anything survived from that mineral line, but of course, all these Marines, all these Marauders going against this many roaches. The biggest problem is there's not enough Marauders in the mix, and of course, the few Marauders that are in the mix do not have concussive shells. You know, that would kind of slow down the roach reinforcements that we have from Direstrait, but now we have a double, not double, but basically like the supply difference is basically double that of Combro presently. He's got a few more Marauders getting out, and they are tearing away at these roaches like piranhas to a pile of ham, or like a pile of bacon in the Amazon on a fishing hook without a hook. But now it's just not working out. All the Marauders are gone. There's three being cranked out at a time. And I just want to get a good look at something real quick here. Yeah, it's just not working out for him that much. There we go. I went ahead and unblocked everyone just before the game ended. It looks like Combro is going to hold here, but the question is just how much longer is he going to stay in the game. We have Dire taking a hidden fourth right here. Excuse me, hidden fifth, and his fourth base did just finish up right here. He's just gaining non-stop momentum. There's just so much damage that he's dealing out on Combro right now, but of course, I think he's just, he's playing one of those silly games, and of course, it's really something a little awing when you see your opponent sending nothing but slowlings at you. Alright, so now we have Combro just kind of slightly coming back in terms of supply, but this is one of those games I think, Direstrait could have ended a while back. He's going to certainly end it when the Spire comes into play, but I think this is actually something very, very critical at present. We do have, basically Combro's moving in here out on creep, and there's no Banelings in the mix, at least not yet. There are 13 in production. And when they finish, it's going to be a huge wall up for Combro. Then again, I could be wrong, as he does have medevacs that like to pick things up and put them down. And this is a teensy bit of a mistake from Dire. He does see 4 small dots on the minimap, and it looks like we have Combro just forgetting to actually drop his units there. But of course, this is something that's just keeping Dire in his base, not really making him lose the game presently. He did manage to take down an Infestor there. I kind of like this move by Combro. He just unloads one medevac to kind of make those Banelings as cost inefficient as possible. Now this is a beautiful surround coming in from the Lings, and the Baneling speed is already finished, and I think this is basically going to be the end of this game. I mean, I don't see Combro coming back after this unless, Dire continues to just play against him like, it's a pushover. There we go. I mean, more and more Lings is coming in here. Question is, I think, +2 melee is just now getting finished for the Lings. Looks like Combro is really starting to ramp up his production, but again, I mean, if we just look at the supply discrepancy, this game is not in favor of it's not in favor of Combro whatsoever. I mean, it's basically going to take a miracle for him to come back in this game, He doesn't really have siege tanks, he doesn't have battle cruisers, he doesn't have anything that can really turn this game around yet. Alright. Here we go. This is looking like, it's going to be a final-ish engagement. Beautiful surround on all those Marines, but of course the medevacs come in and pick up a majority of them. Wow. This actually could do some damage right here. We're going to have to see Combro, we're going to really have to see Direstrait pull everything he's got to really save this base, but of course Direstrait wins, and that's as we see the final engagement over here. Dire just taking everything down like a boss.